today I want to talk about what is family constellations, how this therapy helps me to transform my life, and also how you can book a therapy and find out what is going on with you. So in life, we have so many experiences that are repeating again and again, and we don't really understand what is going on in our lives. And I don't know if you hear about family constellations, but this is a therapy that is going to help you to see all the invisible loyalties that you have with your family system, with your lineages. Sometimes we think like our families are just mom and dad and relatives, but also, like your mom and your dad, they have their parents, and their parents, they had their parents, and life has been passing through generation until the life got to your mom and your dad. Somehow they got together, and here you are. So as you know, sometimes we have difficulties in life, difficult times, difficult experiences that are hard to step out. Something can be like traumas, all the traumas that we have from childhood, the way that our parents treat us when we were kids, the way our teachers in the community where we grew up treated us, the information they passed to us, how they used to do things. For example, rules, the way you were educated, your religion, your friends, your family, like everything is related to you. And somehow when you came to life, you were just like a very small person, like a baby, and all the beliefs, your belief system, and all the experiences, everything you know, or everything you used to know about life, you learn it at home. And sometimes we grew up with mom and dad, and some others we grew up with some other people, like our grandparents or any other family members. So sometimes we didn't even get to know our parents. We grew up, in a foster place, in a foster house, and somehow you now are experiencing some things in life that are repeating, and you don't know why. So this is the time when I'm sharing my life with you guys. Okay, so I grew up in a very domestic, violent environment. My dad was very aggressive with my mom. He was beating my mom very often. And I remember being a kid and I was so scared all the time. And I was very scared of losing my mom. I was very scared of like my dad can do something very bad to her, like kill her. And of course, at that time, I didn't know about drugs exist or what people can be so angry. I mean, as a kid, I was just living my life, but I was depending on how my dad was feeling. And of course, because my dad was very aggressive with my mom was very aggressive with me. So my mom was like, like punish me or hitting me just because, and in a very aggressive way. And of course, I'm telling you this, and I don't want you to right away feel like angry about my parents. Okay, are you ready? I'm over that, but I'm sharing this with you. So I just remember like feeling sad, alone, scared, and I couldn't realize that there were another ways of living, because every time I step out of the door of my house, the same things were happening in the neighborhood. Like one day my mom was like with a purple eye, and then another neighbor had a purple eye. So in my environment, life was like that. Domestic violence was something like normal there. So I didn't know that people can live in a different way. And I grew up and I did something very important in my life. And I didn't know what I did. But when I was 14 years old, like after all those years of like living in that environment and being stressed out about something can happen to my mom and also receiving all the beats from her and my dad, when I was 14 years old, my family separated in a very strong situation. My dad was very aggressive, and somehow we have to call the police. And I panicked. I was like, because somehow I helped my mom, and I was thinking, you know what, my dad is gonna get so upset at me because I did that. So I remember we went to the police station in Mexico, okay, and we filled up a report, and then the police said, well, my recommendation is that you guys go. Just go somewhere else. Don't come back to your house because this man is going to be here only for a week, and we don't know how he's going to react after this. So he can relax, or he can get more angry. And when I hear those words, I was so scared. I got like a panic attack, and I was insisting to my mom, please, mom, we gotta go, we gotta go, and we gotta go. And I remember mom was very depressed. She was just crying. And of course, uh, I was thinking like, what's going on with my mom? What is she not reacting to this? And I couldn't see that my mom was very scared, of course, because she has to be alone with 3 kids now. So I was pushing my mom so bad for us to leave the house and go and live with my grandmother until we can figure it out what we do. So we went to my grandma's house that was so far away from our house. We have to drop school, me and my 2 brothers. And when we got to my grandma's house, that it was in a small village, so far away from everything, like we needed to work so we can help my brothers, so we can eat. So I went with my mom to another city that is called Guadalajara, and I started working with her. And that was my mistake, okay? Even if I was 14 years old. Because when I did that, I put it a lot of, a very heavy carrier on me. I was like, I put it something heavy on me that it was not my responsibility. And at that time, I couldn't see it. And I couldn't see it like for so many years after that. So I was working with my mom. We were working in a house. And of course, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just 14 years old, living in a small house with my family. So I never do anything like, I was not even good for cleaning. So we were working there for a while, like for a year. And then we were sending the money to my brothers. And after that, my mom immigrated to the United States, and my brother stayed with my grandmother, and I stayed in the city where I am from, and I went back to school. So, but the thing is, like, somehow I started thinking that I needed to help my mom some with my brothers, like, not as a sister. I feel it like it was pretty much my responsibility. And this is what I wanted to share with you, because sometimes that happens, especially if we are from Latino America, like Latinos, we are like from any other country that is not the United States. And maybe in the United States is happening the same thing too. But for us, it's like the oldest uh, relative, it has to be in charge of the brothers and sisters, and you feel that is your responsibility. You start helping. And we cannot separate in between helping from being the oldest sister and not from my dad's place. So we put ourselves in a place that doesn't belong to us, and then you have to pay for that. And it's what happened to me for so many years of my life. So I was somehow alone. I miss my mom. I miss my brothers. I feel overwhelmed. I was so upset with my dad. And then I got upset with my mom. And um, my teenager time was just like kind of impossible for me. I was suffering a lot. So, and then I immigrated to the United States. And when I was here, I also feel the same. Like my mom was already with another partner, and I couldn't understand it in my mind. It was like, why if a woman suffer a lot with a man, why is she in another relationship? And then what is going on with my mom that she's pregnant? Like for me, it was just too much. So I keep thinking for so many years that I have the right to tell my mom what to do, and I have the responsibility of taking care of my relatives. And of course, while the time was passing, I fall in love for the first time in my life, and then the guy just like ignored me, and I suffered a lot. And after that, it was kind of impossible for me to have a partner. And it was not, I was thinking that it was because the first love that was very painful when I lost it. But it was because I had so many trauma, like so much trauma over my shoulders about what I saw in a relationship, that it was my mom and my dad's relationship. The relationship of our parents is the first reference that we have about love. And as a woman, if I see that my mom was suffering and that the man can use the power over her, and then if I stepping out of the door, I see that all my neighbors are experiencing the same thing. It's just like it's so scary to be a woman. It's so hard to open the heart. It's so hard to open your heart for a love, for a man, for another person in your life. Even if you want it and you feel like, yeah, I'm ready to do this, it's just you don't know how to. And you start attracting people into your life that is not ready for love because you are not ready for love. When you are attracting people into your life that is walking out from the relationships, it's a way for you to be safe. When you are attracting people into your life as a partners that is, they have many other partners, so they don't care about you and they don't love you, it's a way for you to say like, okay, I suffer, but I know that I'm better when I'm alone. I can protect myself when I'm alone. So attracting people that is not bringing anything good to your life is a good way of saying, it's better to be alone because all the women or the men, they are the same and they're just like problem scenes in my life. So just thinking about all that story, about all the violence, all the falls in love, everything that I feel against my mom and my dad, I somehow ended up in depression and I didn't know that I was depressed. I want to be very honest with you. And when I was 25 years old, when I was 27 years old, I didn't know that you can go to therapy. I didn't know that you can talk about the stuff that happened in your life and somehow that is going to help you to heal the trauma or just let it go. No, I was holding my story with my arms closed, keeping it for me, and I didn't know how to move forward from there. So back at that time, what I knew was like God was a church. You go to church to find God, that's a spiritual path. And I went to so many churches, like I tried Christian, Baptist, Seminary, I don't know how many more. But for the kind of personality that I have, I cannot go into a place and people tell me, or the pastor tell me like, oh, this sin, everything is a sin, and then just walking out and living my life. Because even instead of like feeling better, I feel worse. I feel like, oh, you know what? I'm not even good for God. So I'm not the kind of person that can be in a church because of that. I take everything very seriously, and I cannot, connect with the good way. I just feel so much. I feel that it's so heavy for me. And when I was 27 years old, I started finding the path, like you ask for help somehow. You one day say like, hey, God, I can't handle this anymore. Please help me. So I started practicing yoga. I started reading books. I started like, I learned about this therapy that it's called What I'm Healing, that it's energy work. I started like attending to workshops on coaching and releasing emotions and stuff. And it was very good. I was releasing a lot, but somehow the lack of love is still in my life. And it was even worse because, I was like a coach, a life coach, and I wanted to prove people that they can do better, but my life didn't get better. So I felt very stuck in life for a very long time until somebody told me about family constellations. And when they did that, honestly, I didn't understand what family constellations was. I didn't understand how that therapy works and how will help in my life. Because when somebody talked to me about family constellations, they said, you are going to work from the roots. And I didn't know what it was. Honestly, like for me, like working on the roots means roots, and I didn't understand it. So one day, I just tried it. I tried Family Constellations, and in the first sessions, I didn't feel anything special. Honestly, I remember like being in session, and I see that the other person was experiencing physical symptoms, feelings, and stuff. And I was like, oh, this person must be like a medium, or like very sensitive somehow. And I didn't feel that much difference in my life at all. I started studying family constellations, and it was because I had a better understanding on what it was. Okay, so I give you, I give you the story because I want you to know a little bit of what happened. So now I can tell you what was wrong with me for so many years. So when my family separates in my mind, okay, I'm not saying that it was really happening because most of the time it's not really happening. It's just something that you feel in your mind. I was standing up on my dad's place. And I didn't know that. I was thinking that I had to forgive my dad for what he did for so many years. Because he was not in his center. He was not doing the stuff he's supposed to do. And that's why we were suffering all over the place. And I was sad and depressed and I feel lonely. But honestly, the day that I find out that I was standing up on my dad's place, I was like, what do you mean? And somehow it's like I said, you know what, dad? You don't know how to do, you don't know how to be a dad. You don't know how to be a husband. You don't know how to be anything. So please move away from here. I will do it for you. Now do it. I do it in a better way. I do a better job. And sometimes, and somehow, I started feeling that I had responsibility with my mom, that I had to protect my mom. And I'm just wondering if it happened to you. If sometimes you feel like you have to protect your mom, or you have the right to tell your mom what to do. Hopefully it's not happening to everybody, but I know that there is so many people that are experiencing the same thing. Like we really feel that we have the power to save the mom from whatever she's experiencing. And so when I realized like I really feel like I have to protect my mom from everything. And I really feel like I had to be in charge of my siblings. Like I have to take care of them. I I didn't have the power to do that. Like in my mind, I was getting stressed out for something that I can't do. So I was giving away my life for nothing. Nobody appreciates that. Your mom, your siblings doesn't appreciate that you are putting yourself in a place that doesn't belong to you, like my father's place. So if I was like telling my brothers what to do, they were like, "Hey, who are you in the first place? You're not my dad. You're not my mom. Like stop it, stop it. You are not. You don't have the right to do this." So I was disconnected from my mom. I was disconnected from my siblings. I was suffering in life. I didn't have partner. I was feeling alone, and I was feeling that everything was so much for me just because I was thinking that I had to do my father work. That is not going to be possible in the life. So when I understood that, it was not about forgiveness. So in family constellations, you don't have to forgive. You don't have to forget either. You just have to see the life the way it was, right? What I mean is, yes, my dad and my mom, they were that way. That happened. It's true. I was there. And I didn't deserve that. And maybe my mom in either, maybe my dad, nobody deserves that, but it happened. So we have to accept what happened in the past so we can move forward with our lives. We have to step out from the roles that do not belong to you so you can live your own life. So for me, when I was able to see like, oh, what do you mean I'm standing up on my dad's place? Yeah, you have to step out from that place. I turned around and I said, Dad, I give you back your place. You are better than me. Why my dad is better than me? Because I am his creation. I am the creation of my mom and my dad. It's not possible for us to connect with the self-love if we don't appreciate where is the life coming from. If I hate my mom, somehow I hate myself because I'm made by her. If I hate my dad or I'm sad with him, and then that is an information that I am putting into myself because I was made by him. So when you can turn around and see the past the way it was, without trying to put like it doesn't supposed to be that way, or it could be better this way. Just turn around and see the past the way it was. Being able to see the situations, even if it's from your parents of your past or your childhood, just turn around and see the things the way they were, with the eyes open. Yeah, it was that way. Yeah, it happened that way. Yeah, I didn't deserve that, but it happened that way. So we don't get confused. So the brain doesn't think that it has to change the story or giving me like different possibilities of how would be better for me in the past. Even if I have hundreds and hundreds of possibilities, nothing is going to change in my past. So I turn around and I say, yes, it was my childhood. Yeah, that was my mom and my dad. Yes, they are my parents. So I'm going to live with them, everything that belongs to them, the anger, the sadness, all the situations that they need to resolve themselves, sometimes with themselves, sometimes even with their parents, because I cannot do anything for them. And what I am gonna do is to take the life that they passed to me. So when I am able to see like, thank you, and say, thank you for my life. Thank you for passing me the life. When I am able to see the past the way it was, and then I'm free. Why am I free? Because I'm not fighting with my past anymore. Acceptance. And in Family Constellations, we have another word in Spanish that I don't know how to say it in English, but acceptance, we can use it for the future. So if you guys said, oh, do you want to go out tomorrow? I can say yes or not, so I can accept or do not accept, right? Maybe not accepting, not accepting. But if I accept, or even if I don't accept something that happened in the past, it's already in the past. So acceptance, in Spanish we say asentir. So in English would be something like, it was that way. It happened that way. Without trying to change anything, just being able to see the reality in the past, even if it was very hard. Because our brain, the traumas, it's just very hard to turn around and see them. But as much as we are not able to see what happened in the past, and then the past is going to keep controlling our lives. We're going to keep living in the past thinking that we know better, that it could be better, they could do better. Even if they could, I mean, it's not going to happen. But when I turn around and I see everything the way it was, and I'm able to take the life and say, like, thank you for my life. I appreciate that you passed the life to me. I take the life that you passed to me. And if we imagine the life as the most beautiful present that we have, as a gift, as this like brilliant, like amazing, shiny light. With the light, you can create whatever you want. But sometimes it's very hard for us to manifest what we want in life, to attract love, and even to love ourselves, because we don't even care about if we're alive or not. We can even like feel grateful because we are alive. Because when you are grateful about your life, that means that your parents did something good. They passed you the life. So it's very important to know the order. In Family Constellations, Bert Hellinger, that was the creator of therapy, he created something that is called the orders of love. There are four. And the first one says that we all belong. We all have the right to belong. And hierarchy, it's very important. So I cannot be on my dad's place. My hierarchy is being the daughter. And I can help my family, yes, but I need to remember where it's my place. Because if I am standing up on my dad's place, I already have a wife, I already have kids. So I don't have more room to live my own life. Step out from the places that do not belong to you so you can live your own life. Sometimes we are in a place that doesn't belong to us because it's for a secret sibling, like an abortion of miscarriage. Nobody knows about it, but you somehow feels like you don't belong here, that you don't belong to here, that you don't have a space here. You are experiencing in your life maybe depression, or maybe everywhere you go, people ignore you or pass over you, and you're like, I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, it's just like this is not your place. Life, it's so interesting that it's going to give you all the mirrors so you can find out what is going on with you. We all belong. Hierarchy, it's important. Who was here before has the right because it was here before. And maybe for me, being the number one is not good because I'm not the number one. And I cannot succeed in life from the number one because that is for a baby that was before me. But if I find out that my place is a number two, maybe from the number two, I can do a lot of things and be happy. That is the most important thing. Be happy, be in peace, be healthy, manifest whatever you want into and bring it into your life. The love, the health, the projects, the success, the money, whatever abundance means for you. Then the second order of love is that we bond. When I said we bond, is we can repeat the family pattern. In my family, there is diabetes, there is cancer, there is all of them are lawyers. They're like, all of them are doctors. And you somehow start like acting and repeating the same careers, the same way of living of your family, or repeating illness. And you don't know why. So when you turn around and you say like, hey, I don't need to live like them, but I am one of them. Okay? We are not going to judge the way they live their lives or the illness or whatever happened in the past. We need to be able to see it with respect and compassion. But even if you repeat the story, that is not going to help them. That's what we said, like, I give this back to you, but I like to be one of your descendants. The third order of love is equilibrium. And equilibrium means I can only give whoever I could take. What I can take, I need to take the life that my parents has to me, and then I can be in service for others. And I need to be very respectful, okay? So like every time I see a person, I need to see that person with the mom and the dad behind them. So I don't want to try to be the mom or the dad of my friends, of my clients, of everyone. I can be just me and I can help, but I don't want to miss my place. It's very easy for us to want to stand up in a place that doesn't belong to us, and it's too heavy. And what happened here is like sometimes you're the best friend, you're the best worker, but when you need something, nobody's there for you. And then you feel like, oh, I'm always giving, but when I'm about to receive, nobody's there to give me something. And then you feel lonely and you feel sad. And it's just because you are trying to be a better mom and a better dad for the people that is in front of you. And we don't have the right to do that. The fourth order of love is acceptance in general for the collective too, because all the time there are happening a lot of things in the world that we don't like. And it's sad. There's a lot of things that are very, like people losing their lives, a lot of crime, horrible things in the world. But they're happening. We need to be able to open our eyes, being able to see and accept what is happening. And also, as much as you can reconcile with your parents, that is taking the life that they passed to you and acceptance of the past. As much you are free from all those negative thoughts that are going to the collective and are helping to the world that horrible things are happening. We are all contributing to that with our negativities, with all sadness. It's like everything gets concentrated and make a big explosion. So that's why Family Constellations has the power to reveal secrets, abortions, miscarriage, kids out of the marriage, people that was excluded from the family lineages, pain that was in the lineages, suffering, a lot of things that you wouldn't even imagine that for something like that, your life it looks this way. So every time that you already try so many things to rid of something in your life, depression, anxiety, illness, lack of love, lack of money, lack of success, lack of, I don't know, like joy, peace, try Family Constellations and see to whom did you bond, which destiny are you repeating, in which place you are standing up that doesn't belong to you, or what part in your life happened, but you are not accepting that happened. And somehow, this is just an explanation, but when we open the Family Constellations therapy, there is a spiritual movement where your ancestors come here, your mom, your dad, they are here in energy, in spirit. It doesn't matter if they're alive or not. And somehow they let us know what is the information that we need to see, the place that we need to give back, whatever we need to accept so we can live our lives. Just think about this. When I said, remember your traumas, think about that moment that was very hard for you in life when you were like 5 years old, when you were 7 years old, when you were 10 years old, when you were 21 years old. All those moments that were hard in your life, you remember right away. That it's called trauma. Trauma means every time I remember that, I feel that I am living it again. That is a trauma. And that's why our bodies can get a lot of stress. So every time I feel scared because something that happened in the past, and sometimes something happened and I remember that memory awake, and then I'm stuck in there. So I can get stuck and not move. Or that can give me a lot of stress and move away from there. Just think about this. Imagine a man who has been with different women, or a woman that has been with different men. And somehow they find a partner and they feel comfortable. And then somehow one of them ran away. And you're like, hey, what happened? What happened? Everything was nice, and then he just or she disappeared. Well, it's just like the trauma. Oh, when I feel this way, I'm in danger. That can be the trauma. The trauma that happened in the relationship of the parents, or something that happened in the past to that person. Well, we need to be able to see that trauma. Okay? So when we have a trauma, we got stuck in there, and every time you feel something like that, that memory awake and got power or get power over us. So when we are able to see it, to release all that pain and find a way to see in a different way and accept that happened, and then little by little we can move forward and we can remember, but it's not going to take control of your life anymore. You just remember it as a memory. So in the family has a memory too. So when something really bad happened in the past, it's like a trauma in the family. And then that trauma goes over and over the generations. And there's something that is called blind love. Blind love means somehow I feel that if I repeat the same family pattern, I'm helping them. But there is no way of helping. If my mom had a problem with her mom, and now I'm having a problem with my mom, I'm repeating this pattern. But even if I am not close to my mom, I don't talk to my mom the way she did it with her mom, my disconnection with my mom is not going to help her disconnection with her mom. That's her thing. She needs to fix it. You don't have the power to do it. So this kind of stuff, family constellation has the power of showing up to you. Why? Because family constellations means you, the constellator, and your lineages. And your lineages are the one that are going to give us all the information we need to know for you to live better, for you to be happy, for you to feel free, for you to be able to make your own family, for you to be able to enjoy your life. Reconciliation is the most powerful thing that we experience in life. When something that happened in your life that was hard for you doesn't have the power over you anymore, it feels amazing. It feels like, oh, I'm over that. Yes, I had a very hard childhood. But you know what? I love my parents. I love to be the daughter of my mom and my dad. And family constellations help me and guide me through this, that right now I can say, like, if I come back to life, I want my mom and my dad again. And I am very grateful because they are my parents, and I like that I look like them. I look like them. I look like my dad. Sometimes I act just the way he acts. I remember that I react the same he used to do it. I react the way my mom used to do it. Like so many things in my life, I'm repeating because it's something that I also learned from them. So I need to give it back to them so I can learn new things. But that's the growing. So I know that it's not so easy to understand how is this possible, but just believe me, when you are ready to heal, and you don't want to look for, a person to judge or putting the stuff in other people, and then the heal will come to you. When somebody did something to you, like I'm talking about sexual abuse, when somebody stole something from you, when somebody abuses you in any way, physically, mentally, emotionally, they are doing something to you. You didn't do it. So you need to give it back to them. If a person come and hit you and you didn't do anything, I mean, whatever that person is feeling doesn't belong to you. You cannot fix it. Even if that person killed you, that person will feel the same. That's why we say, I give you this back to you because you did it. You are the only person that can fix it. Fix it with whatever or whoever you need to fix that. Like if I remember this, when I was a kid, when I was 5 years old, what could I do that made my mom and my dad so angry that they can be so rude with me? Nothing. It wasn't about me. It was about something they feel, something that we're experiencing as a couple or in the past. It was not me. So I give it back to them. Hey, mom, here, your anger. Hey, dad, here, your anger. Hey, mom, here, your sadness. Hey, dad, here, your loneliness. Hey, mom, here is back. I give you back all this lack of self-love. Because even if I carry this all on me, I'm not going to be able to heal or to help my parents. Sometimes when you are repeating the same thing, you are helping your parents in whatever they feel and experience. But even if you repeat the same thing in your life, that is not going to help them. I'll say like our favorite people or the biggest loves in our lives are our parents. And we need to be able to recognize that and say, you know what, mom, you know what, dad, I really love you. And it's very painful for me because I couldn't feel the love back to you. Or I didn't feel that you loved me the same way I love you. Or I got so upset because this happened and then I feel like I cannot love you anymore, because this is what we do. We somehow punish our inner child. So our inner child wants to go back with mom and dad, but we're like, hey, no, they didn't love you. Remember, they were so rude with you. They ignored you. And then we are locking ourselves from love. So what happened from here? If I had the experience of hard childhood with my mom and my dad, and they ignored me or they didn't love me, pretty much if I'm not healed that, I'm attracting partners, friendships, people that is going to make me feel the same way my parents used to make me feel. So when we talk about the mirror work, like when somebody is showing you something, it's not necessarily that you are acting the same as a person is acting against you. It's just like maybe is remember, like awakening that wound that your parents or somebody else did to you. Someone did something to you that it looks like that. And then you have to go back to the past and say like, yes, it was that way. So that is my talk about family constellations, a spiritual movement where your lineages come and give us the information we need for you to be able to be free from that pattern, but being able to say like, yes, thank you for my life. I am one of your descendants. See with good eyes, ancestors, that I can live in a different way, that I can do it differently. With all the tools that I have, the way I like it, we are not going to say I'm going to do better. Every time we say, oh, I'm going to be a better mom than my mom, oops, guess what? You're going to repeat the same thing. Every time you said, oh, I'm going to find a better man than my dad, oof, guess what? You become like your dad and you attract a person like your dad, exactly. So we're just going to live with them their lives, and we are going to be able to do it different, the way you like it, the way you can, with the tools that you have right now. So this is a talk about family constellations. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have questions, if you want to share your own story and see how family constellations can help you to live your life, to feel full, live your life, and feel happy and feel in peace and feel love. And I really appreciate your time here. You can find my website. It's www.nayelin.com. You can find my name just right here, Nayelin. And you can find their free talks. You can find a discovery call. So there's my phone number there, so you guys can join me. You can contact me, and I can give you a free explanation and also see your case in specific, so we can figure it out how you can step out from the place that doesn't belong to you, to stop repeating the family patterns, being able to feel free and live the life you want, giving back whatever doesn't belong to you, including the places for all those babies, secret babies that are right there, and giving back a place to all the people that was excluded from the family lineages. The lineages doesn't tolerate the exclusion, okay? Everybody in the family lineages, they need a place. You know, you belongs to the country where you were born. So it doesn't matter if you were born alive or not. You have a place in your lineages just because, and nobody else has the right to take that place. It's not good even for them or for anybody. Family constellations is a way of putting order in the family system so you can live your own life.